Hello everybody, what is up? I'm Julia, friends call me J-Rock. Thank you for stopping through Tumbleweed Logic one more time. I appreciate you guys being in the building today, and I'm super excited about today because I have an artist with me, my favorite artist on the planet, a good friend of mine, an amazing artist, Uncle Trey. He's in the building, so he's taking time out of his day at South by Southwest, mind you, to give us an interview. For those of you who have watched my YouTube videos, you know that half of his catalog are in my YouTube videos. We're here at South by Southwest. How's it going for you this year, sir?
Not bad at all, not bad at all.
This is your third year here, right?
Yes, my third year.
Okay, so how's it going?
Not bad. Was supposed to perform tonight, really wanted to. But,
whoa, wait. Before we even get into the interview, we were supposed to perform? Wait.
Yeah. Things happen that are out of your control. You're a developing artist. Things just happen.
I understand. Sometimes that's life. Things don't work out as we plan. But can we expect you to be here next year? Because I'm sure there's some disappointed fans out there who are coming here looking for you.
Absolutely. This is my third year, and I plan on making a fourth.
All right, folks, you heard it right here. He will be back next year. So mark your calendar for next year's South by Southwest so you can hear Uncle Trey. So let's hear a little bit about you and what you do, the kind of music you make. Let the folks know.
I'm a rapper from Monroe County, Pennsylvania.
Stand up.
By the way of the Bronx, New York. I guess I would call it a mixture of conscious, a little bit of, I don't know if you would say emotional. I guess I'm just me.
So you're like Common with Drake and Carl Thomas? Sprinkle on.
I wouldn't say Carl Thomas. I wouldn't even. If we're gonna do comparisons, that would make it easier. I guess I would say Drake.
Okay.
Big Sean.
Okay.
Big Sean a lot. I get Big Sean a lot. I get Drake a lot.
Okay.
A little bit of Pusha-T because there's an aggressive side to my music as well. So I would say that too. So yeah.
Okay. So we got Drake, Big Sean, and Pusha-T.
Yeah.
That's a nice combo. Tell us about how you got started in music. Breaking into music is hard. People start early on. So let's hear about how you actually got into music.
I actually got interested in rapping in 6th grade. I think that was around when I was maybe 12 or 13. My older cousin, he used to rap, and I was very impressionable. So I was like, oh, this looks kind of cool. I think I could do this. I was terrible at it.
Okay.
Horrible.
We all gotta start somewhere though.
Yeah. Went into high school, saw that he was doing a demo, like he was putting together a mixtape. So I was like, oh, I can record on my computer too.
Okay.
It was horrible, terrible. Just don't even bring it up.
Okay.
Like I don't even want to think about it. It was that bad. And then I stopped for a little while, started again. This is still in high school. Was a little bit better, still not that great.
Okay.
Used to just play around with it, in college and stuff. And then around 23, that's when I just realized, I should start taking this a little more seriously. So I stopped recording in the basement, got into an official studio, started actually purchasing beats.
Okay.
And then I got, real feedback from people like, okay, how do I get myself better? Started taking constructive criticism, started improving. And then from there, when people told me, like, you're onto something, then it made me feel like, I can take this seriously. So from then on, I've been putting out projects, putting out singles, doing performances, trying to network with people who can help me further my career.
So what it really sounds like is that, and this is a lesson, is that you have to invest in your craft.
Absolutely.
Too many artists are, doing it at home in the bedroom with the homeboys, and it's like, no, you've actually got to put money into studio time, put money into equipment, put money into making sure that the product that you're putting out is what people will want to hear. Because if you're not putting any money or anything into your craft, why should I? I'm like, if you don't believe in your stuff enough to pay for it, why the hell should I?
Yeah, and a lot of people, they tend to think that, rapping is just consists of just rapping, which is absolutely false, and it's what can really mess you up. If you're trying to be serious, if you want to, get somewhere with it, it's not just about rapping. It's about, of course, first and foremost, making good music, but then how do you get your music out there, and are you willing to pay to get your music out there? Are you willing to go out and do the work, the footwork, and what it takes to actually, become the rapper that you ultimately want to become?
So we're gonna stick a pin in that because we have a a segment at the end that we're going to do called the Creators Corner, so we're going to get to that. We talked a little bit about who you would be compared to. We talked about Drake and Big Sean and Pusha-T, but let's talk about influences. You know, because a lot of times when artists are coming out, they say, I've been influenced by this person or that person. So if you had to think about who really influenced you and the kind of music that you're putting out.
Early on, very early on when I first started, 50 Cent was a huge influence.
Go.
In my he was a huge influence in you know the type of music I made. You know, of course, I think when anybody gets started, like they tend to just go towards the gangster rap. But then it wasn't only because it was just like gangster rap. I don't think 50 Cent gets enough credit for like being an incredible storyteller.
Okay.
And that's what I admired most about his music. He was an incredible storyteller. And that's one of my favorite things about when I hear somebody's music. If you're telling a story, that automatically draws me in. So first and foremost, 50 Cent was like my initial, like, you know, wow, I hear this song, I kind of want to make a song like this.
Okay.
And then moving forward, as I got older, I got into other artists. Drake, very relatable. At first it was a little, well, this is new. Like, I've never heard somebody be this vulnerable. And any rapper be
all
really
in his feelings.
vulnerable.
All in his feelings.
But then, like, you hear the songs just like, this is kind of real, though. Like, what's happening? So, yeah, so there's Drake, Pusha-T. I like the fact that he can be aggressive and he can talk about, you know, the street stuff, but he's very educated. He's very well educated, and he also has a message in a lot of these songs that he's putting out. So it's not just straight up, you know, ignorance and drugs. There's a message behind there. Like, he'll say, we do this because this is the environment that we're brought up in. And he talks about police brutality. He talks about a lot of stuff that I learned even in, like, philosophy classes. I'll hear him reference a lot of the things that I would like, a rapper knows about this stuff. It sounds, I mean, that's kind of ignorant to say that, but it's like, that's cool that you know about that, because unless you open a book,
you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
That's interesting, because I know that a lot of rappers, you hear them talk about Nas and Jay and all these folks, but I mean, you didn't mention any of them. It was
no. And to be fair, they're legendary rappers. I also came up in a different time than a lot of people, and I mean, I do go back to, you know, to the Illmatic. Stillmatic is my favorite Nas album.
Okay.
Right, and Blueprint is my favorite Jay-Z album.
Okay.
You know, but then people will tell you otherwise. They'll say, "Oh, Reasonable Doubt."
Yeah, but I was about to say,
which is fair. Because I went back to Reasonable Doubt as well too, and that's an incredible album. But the first time that I could actually, you know, take in and, you know, music, and when I was listening to Jay-Z, it was Blueprint. That's when I was like, I can really sit down and listen and study what he's saying. You know.
Let's talk about actually, like, breaking in or really kind of starting out. What are some of the challenges that you think that you faced when you first decided to come out and be a rapper? Like, I mean, because people feel like, okay, if I can string some words together, I can make videos, I can make songs, I'm gonna blow up, and I'm gonna be the next, you know, designer or 21 Savage or whoever it is. Y'all know I don't know this stuff. I'm just naming names. But so what are some of the challenges that you faced in trying to really break out?
Getting people to pay attention.
Okay.
Because it's such a saturated market and industry right now, everybody's trying to rap. Everybody wants to rap. Everybody and their mother wants to rap. When I was in high school, it was a certain select few people who could rap. And even if you weren't that good, the fact that you can rap, if people could say, like, I mean, you're actually trying, like, you can do a little something, there was a select few. So it's just like, nah, he raps. You're known for rapping. Now, everybody and their mother raps. So it's like, you tell somebody to rap, and it's just like, oh,
okay.
It's that too. So you have to be able to impress people and keep their attention, especially now when, you know, songs are just coming just like that. And I consider a lot of the music that's out right now like junk food music. It's food for the moment, and then it's on to the next one. And if you can't keep somebody's attention, then you're here today and you're gone tomorrow.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the projects and things that you've worked on. So to tell us a little bit about your catalog, how many albums you have out, and kind of what are your next steps in terms of your music career?
I have 3 full projects out. Each project represents where I was in my life at the time. This last project, it was, I want to say, it was the least storytelling, if that's the right way to say it, I don't know, but it was all over the place. But then again, that goes to show like where I was in my life. It was kind of the sound and the feel of the album was really bouncy and kind of happy, and the one before that it was a lot more mellow, and and then the first one was kind of that, if you can hear like the hunger and it's just straight raw, getting ready to break into the game type stuff.
Let's talk about that a little bit more. So how do you think that you've grown, over each project? We've talked that you have 3 full projects out. So how do you think you've grown, or what has helped you to really kind of elevate your game, as you get to each new project?
A few things, maturity. There's a certain amount of things that I just won't say anymore. Like I used to say in certain songs that I just won't say anymore because I'm getting, more mature, and I'm just like, I don't want to say a lot of ignorant things anymore. I want to make sure that I'm giving more of a message in my songs, and I'm not just trying to follow whatever's out right now. Also, I'm trying to listen to more than just rap. I love hip hop, I love rap, but then I also love R&B. I like gospel as well, kind of even like country.
Okay.
So I try to just listen to everything and then sometimes incorporate that into how I write.
Okay.
And I definitely take a lot more time to write. So I'm not just trying to come up with punchlines, and I'm really working on my storytelling and making sure that every line that I write connects. Everything makes sense. Everything has to make sense to me. So I'm kind of a perfectionist.
We talked a little bit, you just mentioned some of your musical influences. So when you're putting together a song or you're putting together a hook, are you trying to pull on those different influences, saying, okay, I've written this song, but if I had a country vibe, it would make it this way, or if I had an R&B vibe. So tell us a little bit about your creative process and how you're able to pull in some of those different influences.
Well, first to begin with, when I write, it's usually from a personal experience. So that's already into account. So I make sure that the subject matter is something that I've gone through or that I'm aware that somebody else is going through. So that's the inspiration first and foremost. Second, sometimes I do need help to see how I would rather convey the message, or how the song would come out. So sometimes I'll listen to a certain artist and I'm like, I'm kind of having a hard time writing this, or coming up with a melody for this, or how should this hook go. So sometimes I listen to a couple of artists or a couple of songs that might fit. So I'll just like, okay, this certain song kind of reminds me of what I want to say over here. So let me see how I can not copy, but just get a little inspiration.
So let's talk about the rap game as a whole right now. You said, junk food music, where, it's kind of hot right now. So when you think about the game that as it is today, what does it really take or what do you think is really driving people's success right now? How can you be successful in a space where, it's just here today, gone tomorrow? What are your thoughts on that?
You know what? There's a lot of guys that just come in and you can tell that they're just here to get the check. And I don't knock anybody, especially young black men, just coming trying to get some money, trying to make money, trying to be great off whatever they want to do. Even if I personally believe that if you're coming into the music thing, I care about the art first and foremost. But unfortunately, the climate that the game is in, people don't really care for timeless music these days. Like I said, they want the junk food, the here today, gone tomorrow. It doesn't matter if we can turn up to it tonight and for the next couple of weeks or for the whole summer, great. Nobody cares about an incredible body of work like that anymore. It's just kind of turn up and then, okay, what can we turn up to next?
So how do you think you'll be able to navigate that, to build, as you're trying to build your career?
I think I do have to find the best way to get this type of music out there into the people who appreciate this type of music, because there's an audience for everybody. Again, there's the people who like that fast food music, but then there are still the people who appreciate timeless music that you can go back to. Because I know there's a lot of albums that have came out a couple years ago and I still like, I need to hear this song. It's just, great music. So I'm just trying to make sure that I can get that audience to pay attention to me. That's what I'm trying to do right now.
Let's do something fun. Let's talk a little bit about you and get to know you. So we know your name is Uncle Trey. So that's your stage name. But tell us about your actual name. How old are you? Let's learn a little bit about you. There's probably some ladies out there who are trying to figure out some things. So I want to give them some information.
My government name is Tremaine Josie. I'm 27 years old.
27?
Yeah, kind of old, still kind of young. I live in the Bronx right now. Graduated from Penn State in 2011.
Okay.
I currently work for Time magazine.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're doing time during the day and we're hustling at night. Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Gotta support the dream. Gotta be able to, feed the dream.
So, question.
Okay.
What's your sign?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Ladies, just Sagittarius, do your whole sign, compatibility check.
We're the most chill sign. Nobody ever has problems with Sagittarius unless you're one of the crazier signs, unless you're a Gemini or an
Wait.
Aries.
We're just gonna roll. We're just gonna roll through this program. But we're just gonna go ahead and roll past that. We're gonna just kind of bring this interview home, and this part of the interview is something I like to call the Creators Corner.
Okay.
And this is a space where I ask the person I'm interviewing to kind of share their views on, for people who are aspiring to do what they do. What advice would they share? If there was something that they knew, I guess, back then when they first started that they knew now, like what would it be? So first things first, I'll ask you that question. When you look at, your growth over the years and the growth with the projects you've done, what is something that you've learned at this point that you wish you knew when you first started out?
Well, this is not necessarily musically, but professionally. Invest your money wisely. And you can't be afraid to take a couple L's. It happens when you're just starting and you're still learning. Don't be afraid to take L's. Still be smart, but then everything is not always going to be a home run. You have to be ready to be like, oh man, this didn't work out this time, but just get right back up and be willing to get right back at it. And again, investing in yourself is very important, because I know a lot of people, they say, oh, I don't want to pay for beats or whatever, I don't want to do this, but then you're rapping, you got the tags all over the beats, you got
Right.
shouting their own, be willing to invest in yourself, like studio time that costs money, videos cost good quality. Again, good quality videos cost money. You don't want to be in your basement rapping.
Right.
And again, that's not knocking anybody that does that, because there's also mastering services that you can record in your basement and then pay to get it mastered so it sounds of better quality, like you're actually in the studio. Shows. Make sure you're getting out there and you're doing shows. You got to start somewhere. There's going to be the hole in the wall shows that you do when nobody's going to show up, but you're still on stage. And even if nobody's there, I'm going to tell you, like, you can still get stage fright. If you're not used to it, you can still get stage fright. So just getting that practice and getting yourself out there, it works. And somebody's always watching. Make sure that like you're carrying yourself in a professional manner, because even if you think nobody's watching, somebody is always watching.
Okay.
And I realized that because just a quick story. I went back home for a friend's birthday party one day, and this guy, I hadn't seen him since high school. I hadn't seen him in a very, very long time, but he knew I rapped since high school.
Okay.
He has me on Facebook, and sometimes I post things on Facebook, but I don't really expect many people to watch it, because, like I said, everybody raps, and But he's like, yo, I see you're still rapping. And again, I hadn't seen this guy in years, hadn't spoken to him in years. He's like, yo, I saw you still rapping. I see your videos on Facebook. I've always watched them. Like, I listen to your music.
Wow.
I'm like, really? He's like, yo, don't stop. He's like, I see where you came from. I see where you are now. He's like, don't stop. You can't stop.
Awesome.
So, make sure, like, if sometimes you feel like giving up because it gets frustrating, and sometimes like you just want to quit, but somebody's always watching.
Final question. What's next for you, and where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years? So first things first, are there new projects that we can all be on the edge of our seats for? And what's next for you in the next few years, and where do you see yourself?
Well, I'm currently working on 2 projects at once, actually.
Ooh.
One of them is more of an R&B, smoother album, and then the other one is more of a everything album. First one it's the R&B one's gonna drop first. It's called For the Ride Home, and the second one is called Anywhere But Here.
Okay.
My main goal next is to try to work with more established artists. I think that's another way to get people's attention. Another investment. You gotta be able to pay these artists, and then you see their fans see you. Who's this new guy? I like him. He was on the track with this person. Oh, okay. I'm gonna check his stuff out now. So that's my next main step to getting myself out there. In a few years, I'm hoping just being able to do this full time.
Okay.
Like I said, you have to start somewhere. You have to be able to fund the dream. So it's not just I'm just gonna quit my job and just jump into anything. No, you have to have a backup plan. You have to be able to say, I go to work, pay my bills, and then I'm taking the rest of my money to invest into my craft and what I love. Hopefully, within the next few years, I can quit my job and I can say, I'm a rapper.
Full time.
Full time.
I didn't tell you I was going to do this, but I do this in all of my interviews, so you should know that this was coming. I give each person 30 seconds to speak directly to the camera, speak directly to those who are watching, and pitch yourself, sell everything. So we want to hear about the 2 projects, where we can find your stuff, all of that. You get to say that stuff right now.
I go by the name of Uncle Trey. I'm from Monroe County, Pennsylvania, by the way of the Bronx, New York. You can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Better Than You, MRBETTERTHANYOU. Same thing for IG. Follow me on Snapchat. Uncle Trey Knows. All my full projects are on itsbetterthanmusic.com. You can also follow me on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/itsbetterthanmusic. 2 projects on the way for the ride home, and later on we got Anywhere But Here. So look out for those.
All right, well, thank you so much, Uncle Trey, for stopping through and sharing some words of wisdom about your artistry and what's coming up. 2 new projects, so make sure you guys are checking those out. Thank you again for being in the building. And until next time, guys, this is J-Rock, and I want you guys to laugh hard, love hard, and dream big. We're out of here.